It's your favorite super duper mother daughter duo coming to you with all the positive vibes and helping you become exactly who you want to be. We're giving out all the good stuff on this podcast, and it's your host Tekoa and Sarah.
Hi
So
everyone,
grab your
it's time
mug
for tea
because
where we are
it's
teaching,
time
empowering,
for
and
tea.
applying. We're back with another episode. I'm Tekoa,
And I'm the Sarah.
and today we're going to be talking all about traveling.
Ooh,
So, the definition of travel is to literally go from one place to another, typically over a length of space.
okay.
Yeah, that length of distance or some type of space between the places traveled. So, it's literally just getting up and going somewhere else. That's literally what it is. And we had talked recently in our we had talked about habits and how we're habitual creatures and how most of us do the same things over and over every day. So
Mm-hmm.
a lot of us aren't really traveling to any new places or aren't going anywhere out of our comfort zone. So this episode kind of, highlights traveling outside of your comfort zone, whether that be somewhere you never been before, somewhere out of country, somewhere out of state, somewhere down the street, somewhere around the corner. It's just literally traveling somewhere you've never been. Just travel.
Awesome. Awesome. So I know I have some scientifically proven health benefits of traveling.
Okay,
So,
awesome.
so let's talk about that. Number one, traveling makes you healthier. It actually keeps you healthy and your stress lowered. So
Lower
that's
stress.
one. Lower stress. Travel relieves stress. That's what I just said. Traveling has been scientifically proven to lower stress levels dramatically. Just by doing something different, it is lowering your stress level.
Wow.
Okay. So traveling enhances your creativity, especially when you're traveling international. So it heightens your creativity. I guess it's because you're seeing something different. You're in a new environment that's different. A lot of the architects back in other countries are like thousands of years old. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking that the way they built the artwork that they do to build certain things, I think it just enhances those that are creative like myself. So they said it does link to creativity when you go international. Okay. Traveling boosts your happiness and satisfaction. Come on now. There's a study that people experience an increase in happiness just planning a trip. Now, I'm going to let you know, I've been proven to be that person. Just planning a trip. Like I will, if I know I am going somewhere, I'm excited. I'm packing my bags like 3 weeks in advance. Like
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited. I'm ready. I'm putting things in my suitcase and ready to go. So just planning shifts everything inside of you and you release this happiness inside of you because you know you are going somewhere. So that's good for you. For those that are, needing a change, a boost in happiness. Traveling lowers the risk of depression. Hello. So those that are a little down, feeling blue, having depression, especially when if you're like that seasonal depression where you know that during that September, August, it's getting ready to get dark. One of the things you can do is set yourself up by traveling somewhere warmer. Just even like in December month, during that, just even that one time during those November, December, January month, it does help. I've done it numerous times and it does give you it does release some of that depression on you. So that's definitely important. Um, Traveling may be one of the health alternative available to escape the depressed state. So traveling does help the depressed state. So it's very important.
Okay. So it sounds like traveling has a lot of effects on our physical way of living, our physical, our mental, you
Yep.
know, a lot of psychological effects. So it
Yep.
seems like
Lowering blood
traveling.
pressure. And yes, lowering blood pressure. And they even said women, they were, well, both men and women, but definitely women who travel like twice a year, they found that their cholesterol, their blood pressure decreased
Mm-hmm.
versus
Compared to
once
women.
every 3 years or so, they have seen the effect of just traveling more in a year and how it lowers your blood pressure.
Yes. So vacation time is magical healing time.
Yes, it is. And I love vacation time.
Yeah, like you said, you were one of those people who just think about their vacation coming up and you get happier. That's
Yes.
amazing.
Excited. You go, you buy your little whatever you want to buy. It brings me joy.
It's like Christmas.
Yes, even better for me.
Better than Christmas.
Even better than Christmas.
So that's good. So, and we know that there's like endless opportunities for travel, even if you aren't going on a plane. There's places that you can travel in your neighborhood, in your city, the local park, a museum. There's places that you can travel to that aren't, when we think of travel, we think of an island far off somewhere on a coast.
Extravagant. Yep.
Yeah, safari riding with giraffes, but it doesn't have to be that exotic. It could literally just be traveling down to a different restaurant you've never been to a library that you've heard about, things like that, because just getting out of your comfort zone is what helps these things to start happening.
Correct.
It's the planning and looking forward to something that triggers your brain to say, haha, something new is coming, that gets
Hmm.
you conscious and aware of your surroundings. So that's what we want when we talk about traveling.
Correct. Correct. And like you was just saying, people think, well, I have to go out of the state. I have to go somewhere afar. No, we're in Maryland, so we have all these various counties. This is a beautiful state, I would say, because we got from the mountains to the ocean to the creeks. We have waterfalls, so we have such various types of landscaping here that you can get out of where you're at. And if you like the mountains, you can go to the mountains, you know, an hour, 2 hours away. You can go to the ocean 3 hours away. You can go to all rivers and lakes in this, in the area. So it's also, just shifting and moving even to going to another county, you know, and you don't have to spend all this glamorous and expensive amount of money to just go somewhere different and see something different.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you just get up and go. I see a lot of people doing those on. Well, I don't see a lot of people, but I see people taking like school buses and flipping them into these like RV vans where they can just travel in them and explore the world
Mm-hmm.
on wheels. And I think that's a great thing. Get to travel and really see places.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we take that for granted nowadays.
That this is a beautiful country, and you can see different places without even leaving this country,
Yeah, very
and
true.
different climates and different, so it's a beautiful country. So
Yes, a lot of
yes.
things to see here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was thinking of recently. I was like, why don't if people go to Mount Rushmore? I don't hear about anybody going to Mount Rushmore. Don't
Yeah,
nobody want to see
people
the
do.
president.
I traveled. When I was little, I went to Mount Rushmore, so I remember as a
Oh,
kid,
cool.
yeah, coming from Seattle, Washington to Washington, D.C., we went through Mount Rushmore. So we were able to experience that. So yeah, that kind of stuff. And I was lucky because even growing up in the Maryland area, my parents took us to DC, Washington, DC. We got to experience the museums. So those types of things, even in your own area, going to the museum is traveling.
Yeah.
That's putting yourself in another atmosphere, another kind of area, another kind of
Environment.
environment. Yes,
Hmm.
which is enhancing and educational for you. But those kinds of things, I know people that live in DC that had not even been to the museum in DC. So you have to realize traveling does not have to be abroad. It could be right around the corner in your
Yeah.
own location, your own zip code. you know just get up and do something different.
Yeah, for sure. I hear about that a lot. People like, I don't leave my neighborhood, and it's just like, okay.
Hmm.
That's something weird to be proud of, but all right, you do you, because I definitely leave mine.
Yep.
Any chance I get, where we going, I'm gone.
Correct.
So you touched on a topic that I thought's pretty cool, like traveling as a child. That's something that we didn't talk about that is really important for helping children develop. It helps with them growing socially,
Hmm.
communication skills. It helps them creatively. they get to express themselves creatively in different ways. They find out
Mm-hmm.
different outlets for that. So traveling as a child is definitely something that is amazing and extremely beneficial for them to grow and kind of get to see the world in a different light other than their own. So I think it's
Correct.
extremely necessary for children to travel too. Just as you were influenced to museum trips and things like that in Washington D.C., and that trickled down, and you passed that on to us. We go to
Correct.
museums, and we don't mind things like that. So I think it's very important to embed a sense of travel and wonder into your children, so that they can kind of pass that on to theirs and not be the I'm fine on my neighborhood street.
On that block. Mm-hmm.
I'm
Mm-hmm.
fine
Mm-hmm.
here forever. So I do think it's good that we kind of embed that in them and show them that there's more to life than just what we know.
Correct.
Sesame Street was a great place, but there were other streets too to visit and to see and to learn about.
Correct. Correct. Correct.
So let me see. So we have the benefits of travel, and
Mm-hmm.
there are a lot of benefits. What about personal experiences traveling? So, have you experienced anything crazy? Anything that you felt was just like eye opening? What are your experiences with traveling?
Well, with my experience, I know when I have been to, like, let's say I've been to Jamaica, Bahamas, and I went to Aruba. What I found when I went to Aruba, and that was something shocking to me, is that that's a desert island.
Hmm.
And so when I went, on the plane over there, and you're looking down on the plane at this island, and you're like, where's the grass? Where's the greenery? So that to me was shocking. And I would have never known that if I've never, other than researching and reading, but I would have never had that experience, personal experience with, wow, how ignorant I was to think it in the Caribbean island, all of these islands are the same, and they're not.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was interesting in finding that out. And
Okay.
finding out that in the island there's all these different kinds of people, because there were Dutch people, because it was conquered by the Dutch.
Mm.
So you're there on this island, you're looking at all these blonde-headed, tall, blonde, blue-eyed people, and you're like, why are these people on this island? But you have to remember
These
that,
neighbors a little
yeah, like, that's not,
weird.
but that's their island. So they conquered it, and their ancestors lived there. And
They
so,
colonized it. Mm-hmm.
yeah, they colonized it. So it's just learning and seeing um the difference, and just expanding your mind. Like, you're like, wow, you didn't even know. So it's I'm growing and
Yeah.
I'm learning. And different islands have different slang words, different things they eat. Different Caribbean islands, when you think of Caribbean food, you think that everybody's doing it the same, and it's not, because they have their own kind of food that they cook differently than the other islands.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just a wonderful experience to just see the difference.
Well, that's good. That's good. You got to see a lot of diversity.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, that's really important. That's a huge eye opener. A
Yeah,
huge
the
eye opener.
diversity, and just learning truth, and just sort of getting that naiveness off of you, and you like really learning, like, wow, it's really not like this. It's
Yeah.
really different. All these people are different. They eat different. Their land is different. Their culture is different. It's not everybody in one pot.
Yeah, I feel like here in America, even though there's different cultures and races and stuff like that, we're all pretty similar. Like, if
Hmm.
there's pizza, we're good.
Yeah.
Like, okay, we can eat that. So I feel like we do have some very similarity. Like, if you're an American, there's something that we have in common.
Hmm.
Whereas in other cultures, it's totally different way of living, totally different ways of
Yep.
thinking, totally different ways of interacting with the world around them.
Correct.
So there's definitely like a culture shock, when
Correct.
traveling.
Correct.
Yeah, me personally, I love to travel, and I'll say a nature freak. Like, I love
Mhm.
nature, I love views, I love water. I want to touch trees and talk to the grass and stuff like that. And for me, traveling, it just really gives you awareness of how diverse the world is, how the water is different colors in different places,
Mm-hmm.
and how the wildlife is different. And in some places, oh, these mice and rats are bothering me, but in other places, oh, these lizards, iguanas, and like, oh, okay. So everybody has their problems, but when you go into another world and you experience their problems, it kind of makes you look at yours differently. I think,
Mm-hmm.
like, if
Yeah.
that makes sense, it kind of gives you perspective. And
Correct.
the more I travel, the more I gain perspective. The more I see that things are alike in a lot of ways.
Yep.
People are people, and
People are
people are
people.
going to do what people do. um Situations are similar, and it's just going to be what it is until it is something different. But the I still get like a different sense of perspective.
Mm-hmm.
And I like that. I feel like I always come back more aligned, more enhanced, more aware,
More
more in
appreciative.
touch. Yeah,
More
more in touch,
appreciative.
more
Mm-hmm.
appreciative, more aware that I have brothers and sisters all over the world, not just in my own city.
Mm-hmm.
There's friends everywhere. So I like that. I also learned when I went to Puerto Rico, I learned that being in another country, so I'm going to Puerto Rico and I'm like, okay, this is United States territory. Cool, I got this. No, girl, it was like Mexico. It was like little Mexico. I was like, oh my
Mm-hmm.
gosh, it was Spanish everywhere. But being thrown into that environment, like I had to learn Spanish.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because he have to pick up on your Spanish because they looking at you like,
We're not changing for you.
yeah,
Yeah.
not even we're not changing. I don't know what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
Clearly, you're not from here because everybody around me knows what I'm saying and you don't know what I'm saying. So I don't know what to tell you. You're gonna have to figure it out. And which is understandable,
Yeah.
it's understandable. If I've been with a group of my whole life and we speak one language and you come in speaking another language, yeah. What am I
Yeah.
supposed to do? I can't do anything for you. And since everybody on this end speaks what I speak,
We're good.
yeah, we're good and you're not. So you have to make amends. You have to kind of like, I don't know, you feel good being thrown into a situation where you have to do something. Like you have to pick up and learn something extra or something new. I really like that. It kind of
Mm-hmm.
indulged me a little bit and I was very excited about that.
Yeah.
Um I also learned that a lot of people don't travel because they're scared. And I get being scared, but I've met some amazing people
Mm-hmm.
while traveling. I meet amazing people every day. Literally traveling down the street and we're running into somebody and have a delightful conversation. And be like,
Mm-hmm.
well, this was weird. Okay, see you next time. So I get being scared, but as long as you're intelligent about it, as long as you are not out here flaunting and loud and just
And
doing the
looking for trouble.
utmost, yes, being flamboyant, like as long as you're just low key and chilling and exploring and becoming one with traveling and you have good intentions, then I feel like you'll be good.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like you'll
True.
be good. And there's a lot of people, like I, for one, was like, people can't travel by themselves. People can't do this and that. But I found like groups and YouTube channels and a whole lot of information about people that are doing just that. So if there's anything in the world that you think, and not just traveling, but anything you think that you can't do, go see if someone else is doing it. Because I'm sure somebody else is already doing something similar.
Yep.
And it'll just motivate you and show you that you can do it too.
And I have 5 excuses that people use for not traveling.
Perfect. All right, give that to us.
Okay. Number one, they can't afford it. This is what I learned through life experience. Um, when you say you can't afford it, when something comes up, like your car breakdown, guess what? Miraculously, you find money somewhere to get that car fixed. When a bill is due, when the plumbing goes out, you'll find money. So we not that we make excuse, but there is all kinds of ways to put money away. Southwest have a travel plan where BJ's have a travel plan where you put down like for 6 months to these trip, including hotel and airline. So you have to, there's all kinds of ways. So don't let the money or lack of not having the money scare you. There is layaway traveling plans, okay?
Lay away.
So make it happen. It is beneficial for your health.
Yep.
Number two, I don't have time. So I know a lot of people do that. Well, I have to work. I have my parents. I have this. Well, guess what? There's going to always be something on your plate that you have to do. You need to make time for you first, because when you close your eyes, this is it. This is all. So you need to do something to benefit you. You deserve it. Okay. And no one's going to, and we pray that nothing happens. Look, I'm like, no one's going to die during that time, because people will bring, oh, something's going to happen to me if you leave. No, just go. It'll be fine.
That sounds toxic.
Yes. Yeah.
That sounds toxic. Wait a minute.
Mm-hmm. You know, you know, people are trifling. But I have no one to go with. Now I'm gonna let you know, this is a big thing for, especially I think I'm maybe for women. I travel by myself. Tekoa got to experience it this year traveling. You know what? There is nothing wrong with you going by yourself. You need to be your own best friend. I enjoy me some me. I enjoy being around me. I enjoy hanging out. So I don't need to take anybody else with me. I can find someone to talk to at the hotel. I can talk to myself traveling around, and so you should not feel afraid of being alone or going by yourself. You don't, the benefit of going by yourself is you don't have to wait on anybody. You don't have to depend on anybody. If you want to do something, you're not sitting there compromising with the person. Do you want to do this or that? Do I want to go? Yay or nay? It's up to me. So it's getting that control. And so it's wonderful. The next, number 4, it's not safe to travel. So guess what, you guys? We live in this world that going outside the door might not be safe. So you cannot make an excuse saying it's not safe to travel because of, now I'm not saying if there is a war in a country that you want to make that time, you want to go there. You try to avoid places that are having havoc and war at that time. So, but there's so many places in this world, in this country, that you can go to that is safe. Okay. I will run out of money. Well, that's the last one. So everything in moderation, everything needs a budget. And the reason you budget is because you can go somewhere and go buck wild. So when you go to these places, or when you start planning, when you start planning your trip, know what your limit is, what you're going to spend. Whatever excursion, you can pay beforehand and do it up front, or you're just like, okay, for excursion, I'm gonna put away $300. This is just for this. And so I'm gonna put away $300 just for food. But you just have to tell yourself no. And it's called self-control, guys. Y'all can't be doing everything and making it rain out in somebody else's country. So and for
y'all budget, y'all. I'm gonna just say that.
Yes, stay on a budget. And what you do is whatever you miss, then make it next trip. You try to do those things, but you don't supposed to do everything on one trip. You just, unless you making it rain like Beyonce and Jay-Z, you always set a budget. Okay. Anything?
Very good advice.
Please set your budget.
Set your budget and stick to
Don't call your mama and talk about, can I borrow about $100 more?
Yes. Stick to your budget. I didn't do that. I should have though. Look, can you send me some more money, because
I'm having myself a good time.
Having a ball. I'm living my best life, y'all. It was so good. I extended my flight. I was like, when I go back, you won't be seeing me at no airport going back nowhere. This my home now. It was so good and so worth it, you guys. So when I say that traveling is amazing, I absolutely mean it. No over exaggeration, nothing like that. Traveling is amazing.
It definitely is. It definitely, and it's worth it, and it's exciting, and you get addicted to it. You want more of it.
Yeah, it can be addictive.
Yeah, you want more of it.
It's like the ultimate, like, people use like drinking and stuff like that to escape reality, but they're like sitting still in their reality. But
Hmm.
traveling is like the ultimate escaping reality, and you're like not where you were before. You're totally somewhere
Yep.
different, and everything's
It's
so new and refreshing. It's amazing.
and you leave really leave your trouble behind.
Like I went on vacation, yeah. I gained like 20 pounds. I was on vacation for like a week. I came back, I gained like 8 pounds, and I just kept gaining since then. And my friend was like, "Oh yeah, that's probably from happy weight and not having stress while you're on vacation." And I'm like, "Is this what happiness is? Like
Yes.
gaining weight?"
Your body is your mind is in oneness. It's like, oh yes, all the vitamins and nutritional things are going to the right
I went
areas.
on
Like
vacation and
this.
my metabolism went right with it. It was like we ain't breaking nothing down. You on your own, we chilling. Like what is this what vacation does?
Yeah.
Shorty getting fat.
Yeah, yeah. But I know for me, when I went, it was the first day I just slept. I slept because my body, you don't realize that you push your body a lot of times to the max. And
Yeah,
when you go on vacation, it is
for
truly
sure.
your time for your body to just
Shut
rest,
down. Yeah. Like total
like rest.
namaste.
So
Yeah.
it's crazy. That's when my body's like, oh, we gonna rest, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Total Zen
So
mode. Like we're just gonna chill out.
which is it's in Zen. It's totally like you look. I needed it. The body's going. I needed it. I
Yeah.
needed a break.
I don't
So
know, if
definitely.
our followers and listeners are into spirituality, but traveling is also great for experiencing like how great God is, how creative he is, how masterful at building he is, how powerful his
Hmm.
structures are in the world, and kind of getting a feel for that. It's kind of like a grounding experience. Like
Oh yeah.
yeah, when I went to Puerto Rico, I went to different, I went to waterfalls and streams and natural rivers, and I just was, searching for different waters and different views to take in, and it was just really an experiencing and kind of a humbling experience of
Hmm.
wow, look, all of this here is made for men, and I
For
feel
men.
like the world was made for us to explore, but we're just so content with where we are, and we're like we're complacent creatures. This is my happy place and I don't want to leave, so we don't really get to explore all that's out there.
Hmm.
So speaking of finding that zen and getting in that zen mode and your body being in zen, that's kind of out there in nature, and that's just something that we have to kind of put ourselves out there to experience and find. So for our listeners that are in tune with spirituality, get out somewhere new, get your third eye open, and kind of connect and realign yourself with the world.
Yep.
Take your shoes off, walk on the grass, kind of feel one with nature, and it's a wonderful
It's
experience.
beautiful. It's a beautiful experience. It's
Yeah,
it's
it's totally
truly a
wonderful.
beautiful experience. Definitely. You are connecting with the universe. You are connecting with God, and it's for me it's emotional. So if I go somewhere and I see it's just it because I can feel it. I can sense it, feel it, and yeah, it's very emotional. It's the gratitude of a higher being and the
Mhm.
power and the mightiness of this creator. So yeah,
Yeah.
get
So
out there.
yeah, we're reaching about our 30-minute mark. So that's what we have for traveling today. Did you have anything else to add?
No, baby. I want them to get out there and travel. You will love it. You deserve it. Do it.
Do it. Just do it,
Do it.
everyone. We
This
wish
is
you
one
all
life.
the best. Yes, we hope you get to experience all the greatness that Earth has to offer for us.
Yes.
And until next time, T followers, see ya.
See.
That's a wrap of today's episode. And once again, this is the podcast, Time for Tea, where we are teaching, empowering, and applying and giving out weekly doses of some good stuff for your spirit. Hope you enjoyed today's episode, and we look forward to seeing you next week. Same time, same place. Bye.